On Thursday evening, September 20th, 1984, the beautiful former model Jenny Hansen died mysteriously in Aurora, Colorado. The only suspect was her husband, Richard Hansen. The police took him in for an interrogation.
Tell me what happened that night. Well, on Thursday night, me and my wife, Jenny, went to El Dorito Lounge in Denver. We just drank margaritas all night. We talked about the new trailer we just bought and had a lot of fun drinking. Then we left the restaurant. When we got home, I realized that I had forgotten my jacket at the restaurant. And since we were supposed to go to a different restaurant, I told her to drive to the other one and I would meet her there after I got my jacket. So I went and got my jacket from the restaurant and then drove to the other one where I was supposed to meet her. I waited in the parking lot for her for 45 minutes, but she never showed up. So I decided to drive back home. I got to my house and the garage door was closed. I opened it and saw Jenny unconscious in the driver's seat of our Mercedes-Benz. There was a strong smell of carbon monoxide in the garage and she wasn't breathing. I pulled Jenny out through the passenger door as fast as I could. I dragged her into the floor and laid her down and started doing CPR on her. She had to wake up. I started going insane. I called 911 around 3 p.m. and that's when you guys showed up. Tell me your side of the story.
Well, that night I got home around 8 p.m. No one was home, so I went to bed a little later. I was awakened by my father's screams. He was going crazy. I couldn't believe he was acting that way. But before she died, they got along fairly well. But my aunt called me though and told me that that night they had a fight because Johnny didn't want to go to another bar, but Richard did.
What was the relationship between Jenny and Richard?
Well, 10 months ago, Richard was arrested after he assaulted Jenny at the Marriott Hotel. He used to beat her a lot and hit her, and she never told anybody until that night because she was hospitalized, and then there was a brief separation. Then later the couple reunited and they both stopped drinking. Their son was in the army during her death, but I was with them the day before and there wasn't any issues. They were fine.
What time did he leave the restaurant?
10:30.
I lied the first time. I'm gonna tell you what really happened. We left El Torito restaurant and drove to the other restaurant for a drink, but my wife did not want to go inside. So we went home and she said that her head hurt too much and she didn't want to go anywhere. That's when I realized that my credit card was missing. I had probably left it at El Torito restaurant. I told my wife to take 2 aspirins and I would be back in a little to get her. On my way to the restaurant, I found my credit card on the floor. So instead of going back to El Torito, I went to the loading dock restaurant, but I didn't go in. Instead, I parked across the street and waited for my wife. Me and Jenny have been married for 24 years and our only fight had been at the Marriott Hotel the year before. I don't want to talk about that incident though.
I'm suspicious about the circumstances of my sister's death. Richard has harmed her kids and beaten her as well. He is also an alcoholic and is always drinking all the time. Although my sister told me that things were going well between them, I still believe Janny wasn't telling me everything. I know Janny was afraid of Richard.
I want to take a lie detector test to clear everything up. I'm tired of talking about my wife's death and I don't want any more interviews with officers. I'll tell you everything you want to know. I want to be cooperative. What did you do in those 4 hours of leaving your house and coming back? None of your business. During that Thursday night, did you do anything other than leave that contributed to the death of Jenny? No. Other than leaving her alone, did you cause the death of Jenny? No. Did you kill Jenny? No. Okay, so I lied about my last interview. I didn't go back to El Torito to get my credit card or my jacket, but instead I dropped off my wife at home and then went to a private club where I stayed for 2 hours. I did beat my wife at the Marriott Hotel after catching her in bed with another man. After she got out of the hospital, we stopped drinking for a little, but then we started drinking again. I feel like she fell asleep or passed out after starting the car and her death was an accident. I feel guilty because I feel like she would still be alive if I hadn't gone to the private club. So I lied at my previous interview again. When I got home, I found in the bedroom a note, but I couldn't read what it says, but I'm pretty sure it was a suicide note. To avoid all the drama of a suicide, I threw the note down the toilet. We have determined that there is no evidence to indicate any signs of foul play in regards to the death of Jenny Hansen. Likewise, there is insufficient information to either classify this case as suicidal or accidental death. Therefore, this case will be cleared by investigation. The case file is now closed. Some family members believe that Richard Hansen murdered his wife. John Hansen and his wife embarked on a quest to find some justice for Jenny. They would like a police investigation to determine whether she was murdered and once and for all end speculation that she killed herself. They want the case of her death on her death certificate to be formally changed from undetermined to homicide. They have gone so far that they helped write a book about the case called He Killed Our Jenny, A Family Search for the Truth. No one will ever be at peace until we know what happened that night.
Did you murder your wife?
Are you stupid? No. God.
No, you have to say no.
No!
No, shake your head no.
your name again?
Lily.
Get out of the way, it's not how to drive you idiot! Down! Where'd you get your driver's license from? Gosh!
Pretend this is like an audition for a big movie and you can't mess up. Alright?
Oh my god!
Did you kill your wife? Josh, we have to take a full shot of this. Do you know what happened to her that night?
Nah.
Are you tired of school?
Yeah.
No, you have to say no.
1, 2, 3. ¿Cuántos cinco seis? Excuse me.
So that night,
We need to restart.
tell me what happened that night.
What night? I don't remember.
Did you kill your wife?
No.
Shake your head. You have to shake your head so people know you're saying no. Did you murder your wife? Josh!